What could 6 hours of personal study do for your grades? A 5.0 GPA maybe. Finally making your parents proud. Well, it's actually not a dream. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how I was able to achieve this during my exams, all while maintaining focus. And I'm not going to be including conventional tips like taking breaks and environment conditioning for reasons that I'll be explaining later on in this video. If you're new here, my name is Eno. I'm a first class mechanical engineering student at Comna University, and I'm on a mission to help at least 1,000 students make a first class or a 5.0 GPA. And I'm doing that in this video by sharing my personal experiences on how I was able to study intensely during exams all while maintaining focus. Well, anyways, let's get into it. Your study sessions can either make or break your grades, and that's just the truth. So you need to ensure that every single time that you're sitting at a desk, that every single thing you're doing in that very moment or throughout the study session actually counts for something. And the only way you can truly do this is through having goal-oriented study sessions. And this is actually kind of divided into two. And the first one is simply has to do with planning your week. This was something that I did 1 week to my exams, and if this is 1 week to your exams, I'm sure you must be very happy to be watching this right now. So what you just simply do is that you're going to write out all the days of the week, and then you're going to list out all your subjects. Then you can think to yourself, what am I going to do so that I can ensure that I have a list of all my subjects inside these various days in such a way that I'll be able to read it every single day. So you can now think to yourself, okay, how many subjects will I be able to read every single day to achieve my academic goals? For me, it was kind of like 2 or 3. For somebody else, you cannot really one subject. And I'm going to be sharing you a little bit of how my own kind of looked like. And for the first time, actually, this particular one before my exam, I actually followed it more than I actually expected to. And so I think it's really, really essential when it comes to doing all these things that you try and make sure that you plan it out properly in such a way that it will be much more sustainable and actually help you in the exams that will actually come in next week and even upper week inclusive. So the second part of it is simply planning the day. And there's something that Film said. And she said that when you're planning your study sessions need to have a pass or fail condition. Telling yourself that, okay, today I'm going to study, okay, let's say math now. And all you just write on your timetable is, okay, study math. You cannot really tell whether you really study the maths or anything because you don't have any study objectives for that particular session. Instead of saying study maths, instead you can say, okay, I'm going to do one past question. I'm going to read this topic. Like that. That way, by the time you finish your study session, you can either tell whether you failed it or whether you passed, or more like whether you did what you said you would do or whether you didn't. So in that kind of way now, your study sessions actually have more of a focus and more of a goal towards it. And stay to the end, because at the end, I'm going to be giving you guys a task that you can do immediately after this video to ensure that you're actually doing something to move your academics right now. I think at this point, if it was all about having goals for your study sessions and all that, I swear, half of us here would have been the next valedictorians. But that happens to not be the case. And I'm going to explain why right now. This was something that I really, really underestimated, but I really, really saw play out in one of my 3 unit courses. So if you want to pass all your 3 unit courses, I think you should pay attention to this particular one. So I think we've all heard the quote by now that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, move faster and all that. And so what me and my friends, we first of all started with the goal orientation. We wrote down all the past questions we wanted to do and everything that particular night. Me, naturally, I've never really struggled with maths, so as long as I do a little bit, I don't really bother myself, but because she was there and everything, we were able to push through. I know that day we wrote like we want to do like 6 PQ or something. I'll try and put it on the screen if I can find it, and we were able to do every single thing we set out in our list to do that particular night. It was something I know that probably by the middle of the list, if I was by myself, sincerely, I would have given up. And it's even engineering maths. The fact that I had somebody else with me that night, me that I wanted to sleep by 12, we ended up sleeping by 2, yes. But the things that I learned during the study session were very, very important. Like now, I did not know how to do some particular things with calculator. And because I practiced it with her, I was able to do it with calculator when I got to exam hall, and that helped me to finish a whole lot faster and helped me to answer a whole lot more questions correctly. I probably would have failed if I did not have that study session with her. Not that you will get there and you start gisting or something like that, but somebody that that you put yourself together, you can compensate for each other and then help you to go a whole lot further. And I know that you definitely have a friend that would actually benefit from watching this video, so be sure to share it with them. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe, because I post study tips to help students to achieve their goals and become first class students, or even achieve their 5.0. So thank you for subscribing. So this tip is a really, really weird one, and it's not something that I would have never expected that I would have added in a video. But because I neglected it, I ended up almost fainting inside the library. And weird enough, it has something to do with water. Back to the story of like how I almost fainted in the library. So that particular day, I don't even know what I was feeling like. I was feeling like, was it James Bond or whatever? So I was studying. I was, like I said, I got to around like the 6 hour mark and everything. But before I got to like around the 6 hour mark and everything, before then I noticed that I was starting to feel weak. So I took a break. I even slept for, was it like for 30 minutes or so, and then I was in the library. So that means it was not a problem of environment conditioning. So I really rested and I took breaks and I did the whole environment conditioning thing. But that did not still prevent me from feeling a whole lot more tired near the end of my study session, thus reducing my productivity and my focus. So paying attention to your level of hydration as well can also really increase your ability to be intensely focused and also read effectively. So research has actually shown that 1/3 of people with migraines say that dehydration actually triggers their migraines. And so like when you're dehydrated and everything, your brain and other tissues start to shrink. It begins to have like a pressure on your brain, and that pressure on your brain causes the pain that you now start to feel. So I know I'm not going to start telling you about all the benefits and the merits of not carrying water and all that, because you can probably read that on the internet. But what I am going to tell you is how you can carry water to the library for those of us who have libraries that we cannot actually bring liquids inside. What you can simply do is that you carry your water bottle and keep it inside your bag, and then you know that you keep your bag outside the library, inside the locker room. You can go there every at least 1 hour 30 minutes to drink water, so you can keep yourself hydrated and stop yourself from having migraines. All the other points were really good, but when I started tapping into this particular last point, it really made a huge difference in my academic life in such a way that I could have never imagined. The thing is, before, what I used to do is that I only used to remember that, oh yes, I want a 5.0 when it's close to exam period, and that's a terrible way to live your life. So this time, instead of doing that, what I simply did was that I walked throughout the whole semester in the consciousness that, oh yes, I want to make a 5.0 GPA. So I allowed that mindset to influence me and influence all the things I did up until my very, very last paper, and that was really when I saw it play out the best. So with that particular course, yes, the test score was, I want to describe it as my best was. Like I've had a lot of worst test scores, but this was the first time when my lowest test score was actually quite high. So that kind of thing. But even though that was what was happening, I did not allow that to shift me. I kept on focused on the fact that this was going to be my 5.0 semester. So what can I do to work with what I have? So that was when I now wrote down every single thing I wanted to do for that particular course, and then started sharing how I was going to read it into different kinds of days. Because of that goal I had in mind, I wasn't going to just study like how I normally did. I studied all the different things I know I could cover that would help me and assist me in that particular course. So let me get the book so I can show you guys. So because I was reading the course one of the prior to exam, you can notice there's like some sticky notes inside it and everything. So this was just to help me to bookmark all the places where I had read that particular course and everything. And let me take, this is the last one. So if I open it, you see here where I wrote my reading objectives, for the course and everything, just to help me, stay on track with every single thing that I wanted to do. So I wrote down every single thing right there, the PQ tutorials, solving all the examples in the notes and everything. So because of that goal that I now had in mind, I was able to much more push with this particular course. Even though it was very, very bulky and quite strenuous, I was able to push past my limits and do a whole lot better, even though it was relatively quite difficult. So having a goal and a mission can help you to push past your limits, even in the times when you feel really, really tired, and help you to just really do past your best. Because that's what we're all about in this community. And so remember that task I told you about. So write down where you are, get out a notepad or get out the paper, and just simply write all the days of the week on it, and then write down the number of subjects you want to do on each side of the day. So let's say on Monday you want to do 2 courses, write all the way down to Saturday. And so just keep that paper with you and use it to guide yourself throughout this your last week before your exam, and I'm sure that it will actually be very, very helpful. But if being a first class student was all about studying intensely, I know a whole lot of us that would have definitely been better first class students. So I'm going to be giving you a no BS guide to actually getting that your first class if you've never gotten one before, or continually maintaining that first class if you've been having first classes before. So if you want that guide, click on this video by this side, where I'll be going into detail about how to do everything you need to actually get that your first class. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Love you so much. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.